Title: The Church Girl. Written by Elroi. Novel library. I never really paid much attention to her at first. Everyone in church talked about her. The brothers wanted her, the sisters admired her, and even the elders praised her devotion. She was the perfect church girl, graceful, soft-spoken, and always wearing that calm, untouchable aura. The kind of woman that had men fumbling over themselves, trying to win her favor. But she always turned them down. Always. I watched from a distance, amused. I wasn't like the rest of them. I didn't chase after her or try to impress her with rehearsed Bible verses. I was just me. I greeted her when necessary, nothing more. She always responded politely, her voice gentle yet distant. We were nothing more than two people who acknowledged each other's existence. But then, one day, everything changed. I greeted her as usual, expecting the same soft, good morning. But she walked right past me. No glance, no nod, no recognition whatsoever. As if I were invisible. I stopped mid-step, my hands still half raised. A sting of embarrassment crawled up my chest. Did she just snub me? I tried to play it off, pretending like it didn't bother me, but the truth? It did. More than I cared to admit. All through the service, I barely heard the sermon. My mind kept replaying that moment, her dismissive posture, the way her eyes skimmed over me as if I didn't exist. Was it intentional? A mistake? Or maybe she never really noticed me at all? By the time the service ended, I had decided on one thing: I wasn't going to let it slide. If she could act like I didn't exist, then two could play that game. And so, my turn came. The next Sunday, she passed by and greeted me. Good morning. I looked right past her. It was petty. It was childish. But it felt damn good. For the first time, she was the one pausing mid-step, her brows pulling together in confusion. She even turned slightly as if to check if I was talking to someone else. When she realized I wasn't, she continued walking, but I caught the hesitation in her stride. Now, the ball was in her court. Little did I know, I had just opened a door I wasn't ready to walk through. I told myself I wasn't going to think about her. I wasn't going to let that little exchange, her sobbing me doing the same in return, mean anything more than it was. But the way she hesitated, the way her eyes flickered when I returned the favor, stuck with me. A week passed. Then two. I kept my distance, and so did she. Yet, somehow, we kept finding ourselves in the same spaces. At Bible study, she sat a few rows ahead of me. At Sunday service, we made eye contact across the hall. Even when I ran into her at the church bookstore, we exchanged glances, just a quick, unspoken acknowledgement before pretending we weren't aware of each other's presence. But then, one evening I was outside, leaning against my car, scrolling through my phone, when I heard soft footsteps behind me. I turned, and there she was, standing a few feet away, hesitating, looking uncertain. Hey, she said softly. I wasn't sure how to react. Hey, I replied, keeping my tone neutral. She took a deep breath. I owe you an apology. That caught me off guard. For what? For how I treated you, she admitted. For the way I acted that day. It wasn't fair. I studied her face, searching for sincerity. There was no arrogance, no teasing, just honesty. Why did you do it? I asked. She exhaled. Because I was scared. That was not the answer I expected. Scared of what? She shifted her weight, eyes dropping to the ground. Scared of you, I guess. Or maybe, scared of how you make me feel. I had no words for that. None. She looked up, giving me a small, self-conscious smile. I notice you, you know. More than I should. More than I want to admit. Something in my chest tightened. I had spent weeks convincing myself that she was just another passing thought, that she didn't care. And yet, here she was, saying the exact thing I had been feeling all along. You confuse me, she continued. You're not like the others. You don't chase me. You don't try to impress me. You don't play the game. And that makes me wonder about you more than I should. I chuckled lightly. So ignoring me was your solution? She sighed. Not my best move, I know. I studied her carefully. So what now? She met my gaze, and for the first time, I saw something vulnerable in her eyes. I don't know, but I don't want to keep pretending. For a long moment, I said nothing. Then, finally, I nodded. Me neither. A small smile tugged at her lips. It wasn't much, but it was enough. And in that moment, I knew this was just the beginning. The change was subtle at first. We didn't rush into anything. No dramatic confessions, no sudden declarations of love. Instead, we moved carefully, lingering a little longer in conversations, exchanging glances that spoke volumes, acknowledging something unspoken between us. She still had walls up, I could tell. But so did I. Then one evening, it was after midweek service. Most people had left, but I stayed behind, lost in thought, sitting alone at one of the pews. I didn't expect anyone to join me, but then she did. I don't know how to do this, she admitted softly, breaking the silence. I turned to her, watching as she fidgeted with the bracelet on her wrist. Do what? Let someone in. I didn't push her to explain. I just let her speak. For so long, I built this image, she continued. The perfect church girl. The one who always has the right answers, who never gets caught up in emotions, who stays untouchable. It made things easier. She glanced at me. But then you came along. I raised a brow. And? She gave a small laugh, shaking her head. And you ruined it. I chuckled. I tend to have that effect. She sighed. You're different. I see how you carry yourself, unbothered, confident, but not arrogant. You don't try to prove anything, and somehow, that makes me want to prove myself to you. Her honesty made my chest tighten. I reached for her hand. You don't have to prove anything. Her fingers curled slightly around mine. That's the scary part. With you, I don't feel like I have to pretend. For a long moment, we just sat there, hands intertwined, breathing in the quiet. Then, finally, she spoke again. So what happens now? I exhaled, squeezing her hand gently. We take it slow. We figure it out. She nodded. No expectations? No pressure, I corrected. Just us, being real. A small smile tugged at her lips. I think I can do that. And just like that, something that had been brewing for so long finally found its way into the light. No rush. No games. No pretense. Just us. And that was enough.